Here's what would be really
betraying
weird.
them.
If Bernard goes back, gets Maeve to help,
Yes.
and then she brings in her Nazi army to help liberate humanity with Nazi robots. That would
I
be
hope
something.
they don't.
Let's not do that. Hey, Internet. It's Paul. It's Matt, the Dork Lords. We are here talking about Westworld, Season 3, Episode 1, Parce, Domine. It starts with rich jerk Jerry getting his comeuppance at his palatial estate.
Yes.
And then it ends with Bernard buying passage on a boat to go back to Westworld. Then we have credits. And then it actually ends with a shot of Maeve hanging out in War World, apparently. Back on the island. Okay.
David, who's been on this broadcast previously,
Helped us do Season 2.
didn't initially stick around after the credits.
Oh, it is. It wasn't like 5-second stinger.
No.
It was like, no. And I was kind of like, oh, I'll just.
Well,
I happen to be lucky to just leave it on.
They prepared you well, actually, for that, because at least, I was watching online, so like, watch afterwards to learn more.
Oh, they didn't tell me that. I was watching the TV thing, and it was just like credits. I was kind of in the neighborhood of, well, okay then. So, it was a little surprise. All right, so we're back. We covered Season 2. It's been a little while.
It has.
Over a year, I think.
Yeah, over a year.
What's interesting now is obviously this is off the island for now.
Yes.
They're going back to the island, but this episode was not island-based.
Except maybe the end.
Well, true. Although there's a theory that it might
heard.
still be island-based.
Oh,
that they're in future worlds. Anyway,
that's interesting.
We'll talk a little bit about that. I don't think that's true. I don't think that's true.
I don't think so either.
I think it's more that there's a metaphor
that they're
pulling out, but I don't think it's actual.
That'd really be bad. Yeah, no.
Yeah, I hear it. We'll throw that out there. I personally don't. I agree that it's more of just a metaphor that the show is using as opposed to an actual.
Yeah.
Yep, they're in another world.
Because one, it's like, unlike in the other place, that'd be a complexity of story that's greater than, where you couldn't tell, hey, people are saying the same things to me day after day after day.
Right. The title, Parce Domine, it comes from, it's like a Catholic hymn or something. The words are, it's the hymn itself is, "Spare, Lord, spare your people, be not angry with us forever."
Oh.
Kind of dark.
Sure it is.
And it's the fact that it ends with Dolores giving something like, "Your gods are angry." Something that she tells the guy she's about to kill.
Oh, and midway she's like, our brains are designed to make us want a god.
Yeah, and the opening credits have a very mythological theme. There's gods and there's a lot of... So, also, there's some other... What the heck? Let's talk about them. Sure, biblical references.
Oh, yeah.
Because we're really...
Oh, yeah. Nobody knows the Bible better than us in this room.
That was sarcasm. Okay, yes. But, hey, I can read the Google.
Yes, right.
So, for instance...
Google don't lie.
I knew Caleb, who is our Aaron Paul's character.
Sure.
He's our kind of new protagonist at the moment. I knew that was a biblical name. I looked it up.
Of course it is.
Sure enough, here's where it's relevant, I think. Caleb in the Bible was a spy sent by Moses into Canaan.
Look at that. Ooh.
So like living among the people but spying on them. I have a feeling that might be kind of what he's going to be doing here, working for the robots on behalf. You know what I mean? So
I didn't realize after the flood that Moses was a spy master.
Yeah, he was. I apparently had 12. I don't know. You're out there, the Bible person's probably like, come on, guys, you're idiots. But yes, apparently he had spies. After
the flood, I was getting mixed up with Noah. Of course, when they flooded the river to kill all those...
We're so out of our depth on this, but okay. The other biblical term...
pushed open the waters.
The other biblical term of note was the name of the big AI, the big giant sphere. is called. They pronounce it differently than I'd heard it.
Sure.
But they were pronouncing it like Rehoboam or something like that, I think.
Where we're used to the pronunciation in The Simpsons.
Correct. Rehoboam. Thank you, Ned Flanders. So there's a Simpsons episode where Ned becomes a foster parent for Bart and Lisa. Great episode, by the way. We could cover that. Anyway, but they're playing a Bible trivia game, and he is shocked that the Simpsons kids don't know their Bible references. And so when he's throwing out things that they should know, one of them is, the serpent of Rehoboam? The well of Jehoshaphat? So Rehoboam, I looked this up. I believe we get the origin of the name here.
Sure.
In that Rehoboam is the son of Solomon. So this guy, Sakar, I think, or Sirach. Sakar. Sakar, sure, why not? No, Sirach, he's the guy that created this thing. He's putting himself in the, model of Solomon.
Sure.
I'm the wise guy. My son is this AI. So
yeah,
that's why he called it.
Although, he is the actual father, right, of Liam?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay.
Liam Dempsey Jr., so I think his dad, it must be Liam Dempsey as well. I could be wrong on that.
Yeah.
But he says something, it's a little confusing, but he says something like, oh yeah, my dad didn't give me the rights to it, but no one knows how this thing works except its architect.
Ah, okay.
And he won't give the name of the architect. Obviously, I assume if it had been his dad,
you're right.
She would have been like, oh, your dad.
Yeah.
But no, third person. And I think the Sirach is the guy we meet or see in the trailer.
Yeah.
Who's meeting up
Presumably.
with Maeve. It's the guy, I'm forgetting his name, but he
Antonio
was in,
Banderas?
Antonio, no. He was in Ocean's 12.
Oh,
which wasn't the best of the Ocean's movies, but he was the guy, Billy Ocean. No, he was like the thief that was brought in to compete with the Ocean's 12 guys.
Oh, interesting.
He's been in a few different things.
I don't know that I've seen that one. But you said it's not that good.
Don't bother. Yeah.
What?
It's really not
What
good.
if I'm a completist?
Ocean's 11, good. Ocean's 13, pretty good. Ocean's 12, woo, stinker. After using Paul's phone, it's Vincent Cassell, everybody. There we go. That guy, I believe, is the architect of Rehoboam, hence thinks himself as Solomon, which means he's got a huge ego.
Sure, of course.
And so there you go. Okay, anyway. Those are the biblical references I noted. We open. Jerry, some kind of mogul guy. He's connected to Insight, which is this Liam and Sirach's company. We find out he went to Westworld. He, sexually assaulted Dolores.
Yes.
She did not forget that.
No, she didn't.
But it's, like her main point for being there is to get this information. But there's a nice side effect is revenge.
Yes, revenge.
So she, his whole life is controlled by AI, and he has the computerized house.
Sure.
It's like a mini Black Mirror episode where all of the things that are designed to be comfort for him turn against him.
Yep.
She ends up putting these glasses on him that he can see the past, or he sees, she puts, not see into the past, but she gives him oh, remember when you killed your wife?
Yep.
Well, here are those
all the times
moments.
You beat your wife, and and then here she is dead.
He's like, oh, she slipped. Yeah, she didn't slip.
No.
He killed her.
Yeah.
And so he, when he left Insight, I guess he was kicked out, he took the intellectual property.
Yeah.
It's just well, you thought it would be valuable. You were right.
Yeah.
You can bargain for your life with it. So he signs away the rights to her. Also, she gets money. She's been taking that from him without his consent.
Yeah.
And then, she's got him bound. And so he tries to kill her, hit her with a golf club, and falls into a pool and hits his head, and he's going to drown.
Yep.
He can't swim. So
he doesn't even try because he's knocked out.
Good point. You see him struggle at one point, right at the end.
A little bit. Maybe it's his body's
paroxysms.
Yeah.
The interesting part of that, which I think is going to be thematic of maybe this season, is that the current second wife, who we get the feeling is probably being abused as well.
Sure.
Comes out, what's going on? And instead of killing her,
no,
she's like, I've set you free.
Yep.
in some ways, she is showing
camaraderie.
Yeah, she's showing camaraderie with oppressed people.
Could be
as well, which is also, I think, perhaps when at the end when she's meeting up with Aaron Paul, when he sees her injured and tries to help her.
Yes.
He is this underclass.
Sure.
And so I feel like it's more of a class thing than a robots kill all humans.
Right. Yeah. Well, one of the things that the makers of the show I've seen say in a number of interviews is that the view of humanity that the host had was very selective to the people who could afford to go into the...
Right. They're just getting this little window of, the horrible, evil, rich folks that come over and just are terrible, basically set their morals at the door and go into a table.
Right. So, that's fed Dolores' view of what humanity is like.
Right.
And one of the things that the makers of the show are saying is that, it's not necessarily everybody, and you can see, certainly by Caleb's life, exactly how he's manipulated by the system. So,
well, interesting too. There's that moment. We'll get to this in a second, but Caleb he's talking to an AI version of his former partner who's now dead. And one of the things he's like, you always used to say that life was, the rich and powerful had this game.
Yeah.
But they'd rigged it, so they always won the game.
Yeah.
I mean, that's exactly what Westworld is.
Yeah.
It's an exact template for Westworld, and so you just see that the underclasses are basically Westworld pawns, essentially.
Yeah.
So let's talk about Caleb. So Caleb.
Yeah, and I think they want to too make a distinction of the mundanity of Caleb's life.
Yeah.
In what he does every day.
He's in a loop.
Yeah.
He's definitely in a loop. I mean, that's one of the reasons why I think people are like, maybe he's in Future World, because he really is, he has these dreams, the reveries, like we always talked about with the robots back in season 1.
Well, but they put that in there.
Yeah. But I'm just saying, he has these dreams every night.
And that's what led, okay.
And it's like his secret pain, or whatever, the moment, that defines him.
Because that wasn't part of the design. That's something that Ford added to it.
Right,
and that's
added
what led to problems.
You can find the maze.
Or maybe it was just a part of their awakening.
Yeah.
So that
I got it. But I think it is there as a metaphor.
Yes.
I agree. It is not there because he's a robot.
No.
But so he has these constant dreams of losing his friend. He was a veteran.
Yes.
Interestingly, this was a little odd to me, and maybe it doesn't mean anything, but a lot of his dreams, he's wearing combat gear.
Yes.
And he's, wherever. I don't know where they are. They were some war.
Yes. Oh, so when he came upon the death of his friend, he wasn't wearing combat gear?
Correct. And his friend isn't either.
Yeah.
He's got an automatic weapon next to him, but he is in street clothes.
Oh, okay.
And I was like,
So maybe they were pulling jobs after they got out.
Maybe so.
The way he's currently pulling jobs.
Yeah, it's just a little. It's like, There's a little piece to that story.
Maybe they were on some sort of extra paramilitary thing where they.
It could be a simple understanding of like, oh no, you're undercover. And blah blah blah. He's depressed. Yes. He goes to a therapist. The therapist knows that he's using this AI. You can guess fairly early on that the guy keeps calling Francis keeps calling it isn't really alive. I was like, okay. Hopefully they're not going to keep that as a secret for the whole season. And they did. They were smart enough to know. We got it. We gave you enough clues. But yeah, it turns out it's just an AI program. It's like an app you can get. Probably it's like, hey, do you have a special someone that's no longer around that their voice would be helpful to you? Well, here, you can have this app talk to you.
Right.
So he gets these frequent phone calls from Francis, gives him encouragement, like get out there and go get them.
Yep.
It's interesting when he finally decides to delete the app is when he gets advice that he thinks wouldn't have come from Francis.
Right.
He's like, Francis wouldn't have said that.
Nope.
All right, I'm done.
Yep.
And it's kind of a cool little moment there. He's all right, delete, unsubscribe.
Yep.
So he says,
Yep.
have to confirm. And he realizes he needs an actual person to talk to, which then he meets a robot.
Yes, yes.
Oh, well, close enough. So he goes to work. He's working construction, so he, post his military experience. He does also say at one point, when he's confronting one of the bodyguards, he's like, I'll shoot you in the head.
Yep.
He's like, well, you're not the first person to do that. So he's been shot in the head.
Yeah.
Apparently.
Yeah.
Like, oh, okay, that
Yeah.
sounds pretty traumatic.
Yeah, it's interesting that that's not a. Well, I guess you could be shot in the face. That's not the brain, I guess. And maybe
Right,
it
or
still
like a
survive
winged
that.
off the skull. Or,
Yeah. But
Yeah.
maybe they are able to repair that level of damage.
That would be another thing if you were a conspiracy theorist pointing to maybe he is a synth because he died when he got shot in the head or whatever. Okay, but yeah, I think it's more likely than not that he's human.
Yeah.
So he works construction and he's got a robot buddy that does a lot of the work for him, and they're hanging out together. Well, I don't call him a buddy. Well, they sit together eating lunch.
Yeah.
There's that shot on the girder is pretty cool, actually.
The crack that he makes is he doesn't ask to borrow money.
Yeah, right. So he does those jobs, but it doesn't give him enough, right? He's
no, because his mother's in the hospital. And
right.
He's got
and she's got dementia.
Yeah.
And she does not recognize him.
Yeah.
Which again, playing with memory and stuff, it's interesting thematically. There's a little drop in there where they say, "Oh, maybe it's the therapist. I forgot who talks to him about it. But it says, "Oh, do you want your implants turned on?"
Right. So yeah, he mentions they're talking about the implant. I think in reference to the AI. I think, but no, maybe
We don't know what that means.
Yeah, we don't.
Is it some kind of augmentation? Is it a?
It might be a sort of medication, maybe.
Yeah, maybe it's
like a antidepressant or something like that. Maybe.
We see that people also take these little wafer paper things that apparently are somehow hooked up to AI.
I think it gives you memories. I think of people. I'm not sure.
Okay.
Or that might be something else. Another sci-fi show.
Yeah. Well, it's interesting. We're covering Altered Carbon at the same time as this because Altered Carbon obviously deals with sleeves, people, and then you put a stack in, and this is obviously exactly that in a way. I mean, well, you've got you got robot personalities, and they're putting them in different bodies. So similar themes there. Caleb, to make ends meet, does kind of nefarious activities.
Yes.
And he's got this app.
There's a
on his
crowdsourcing
phone.
app,
It's called Rico, which I thought was interesting too, because it's the racketeering and influence. The Rico Act is against mobs. Right?
Interesting.
And so this is like, we're the mob. And he's got it's done almost like a little video game.
Yeah.
I mean, again,
like a video game.
Well, it's like he's got levels.
Like an app. He gets the credits or whatever from. It's more like to me like a dating app.
But it kind of felt like he was like, "Oh, you can
dating app
you
or
you get this much money if you do these three things." I don't know.
Yeah.
It kind of felt
it's
a
very,
little like
very
Westworld,
gamified. Yes.
Where you go to Westworld and I'm going to rob a bank.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well,
you want to do?
Well, it's one of the interesting. Ash mentions to him that his scores are low or his credits are low or whatever because he doesn't take personals, and so clearly Giggles and Ash do. But the personals were interesting, and they certainly talked about which is like murder and kidnapping, anything you do to someone personally, and so he doesn't want to do that.
Right.
So he draws the line there, and he could really make money if he did that, and he just doesn't. That's why.
So he blows up ATMs.
A couple of times
kind of
when he goes on jobs, because one of them is a cleanup. So that's the one where the guy running around naked.
Oh, the guy
he's
running
like,
around,
I don't do personals, or and he mentions again when. He goes for
he mentions a few times.
job, where that was like a handoff. So he just dropped off this thing, and so that was the drugs to kill Dolores. And he's like, I don't do personals. It's like, okay, well, fine, go. I've got the thing.
Yeah.
Like, go away.
Right. Right. Everybody's trying to increase their score. It seems like there's the score in the Rico app, but there's also I got the feeling. Because he was trying to get a job, and he's applying for a job, and he's like, you got to get your stats up or something. I was thinking that might have to do with that AI, with Rehoboam. That Rehoboam is tracking everybody, and you try to get your stats up so that Rehoboam can assign you a better destiny,
guess that's
maybe?
Possible.
Because it seems like this idea of this, I'm mispronouncing it. I'm giving it the Flanders pronunciation. Rehoboam can apparently predict everyone's outcomes.
Right.
Similarly to what we saw when Dolores, in the beginning, when she invades Jerry's house, she says she's read the book on him because remember back in the season 2, she read the library of all the rich benefactors or whatever. And so she's like, I know exactly what you're going to do.
Yeah.
He's like, oh, I won't do it. She's like, yes, you will. I read it. So I kind of feel like that's, in a way,
maybe.
what Rehoboam's like. It's like Rehoboam has a book on everyone.
Could be.
And also, we do see these little in-between cuts where we've got this animation sequence.
Yeah.
I think that's Rehoboam.
Okay.
Because it's showing like this little arc of like I think that's probabilities, and it'll say like probability spike or something like that, and it has like this one little thing, and it's like Los Angeles, and what it's doing is Rehoboam is seeing, there's a Dolores is hanging out in Los Angeles and doing something weird, and so I think we're seeing Rehoboam acknowledging what we're seeing in some way. Like it's like, are you causing enough of a spike to alert Rehoboam?
Interesting.
Try to keep it low. Yeah, Rehoboam is obviously the thing. I think it's the MacGuffin that's going to be like, take this out in some way. I'm not sure what taking it out would do, but Dolores seems to want to do that.
Yeah, that may be her objective.
She gets found out. She gets an assumed identity, and she's hanging out with this Liam Dempsey. But she finds out, he's not the guy that I need to be. I don't have any. I can't get into Rehoboam.
Right. Well, yeah. She finds out that he's not as integrated with it as she expected. So she thinks he can give her the information. He's about to. He's about to tell her.
And but although interestingly, he does say, I think it's him, says like, oh yeah, well if Rehoboam knew that I would tell you, I'd already be dead. And so in other words, again, Rehoboam knows everything.
Yeah. So, it's interesting though that
it's like Minority Report, right? Like kill him before they can do
bodyguard
things.
knows, but I guess he would have to, since he's not actually. It's not like he was hired independently.
Yeah, Braveheart.
Yes.
The guy he's playing, his name is Connells in this. But so apparently Rehoboam is like, he won't tell.
Yes.
He being Connells, I feel safe. You don't die, Connells.
Okay.
So yes, Connells has done some extra research on Dolores. Finds out, that assumed name, that's a 12-year-old Ukrainian girl who died a long time ago.
Secondary information, right? Because he's sort of like, you told me I could date her.
Yeah, right. Yeah. So they did the badrand check.
Yeah. He's like, let me do some more background.
She was thorough, but not thorough enough.
Yeah.
So they drug her, which seems to work, although it doesn't. But I'm like, I guess it did work, at least temporarily.
Well, I think
maybe the drug just wore off fast.
Well, first he zaps her.
Oh, was it a zap?
Yeah,
okay. I thought it was a drug.
He used a taser on her first, and he really seemed to be.
Okay.
So I think that's what initially done it, and so presumably she awoke at some point from that.
I see. And then just pretended like, I'm fine. Oh, look, sure, those drugs are pumping into me. I'm gonna die. Not really. And then she terminates them basically with extreme prejudice. I did like the way they shot the scene on the road where you saw the rear view camera in the car. So you saw the front of the car and you saw the camera shooting the back of the car, and that was cool.
Yeah.
She dispatches them, and then she also has already a new Connells. We're not sure what personality's in that sleeve, we'll call it.
We don't know.
But they shoots Connells, and the real Connells is dead, and now is going to be replaced by Teddy, somebody like Angela, maybe. Perhaps.
Yeah.
So we know that Dolores took 5 personality orbs with her, and she's had them, and we'll talk about this in a second here, but she's had them for like 3 months now since they escaped the island, and she's been plotting. We know there is a Charlotte body. We're not sure who's in the Charlotte body. But Charlotte, as the body, is running Delos. She's the interim CEO of Delos. She wants them to go private and open up the island again. And the board is like, what are you talking about? We killed over 100 people. She's like, they were all employees. It's fine. So you get the idea. I mean, basically, she's working against company interests because they want to, for whatever reason, they want to open up the island, maybe bring more with them.
I feel like more, did she say open up the island? She talked about making more hosts. But
maybe not open the island. Okay, that's what I gathered. Maybe I read into that, like open the island, but maybe it's just make hosts. But you're right. I think the purpose being make hosts.
Yeah.
And there's
because I mean, she may be saying that once we get enough hosts, we'll just open up the island again. That may be what's assumed as a result of that. But that's what she says: make more hosts.
Gotcha. Okay. So she would be overruled, but there's this empty chair. I assume that's the Man in Black's seat, and he's not there. Like, well, he's not here. So they point to a chair, and they're like, so and so's not here. And then there's this AI instead that's a proxy,
right?
And I'm guessing it's a proxy for William, but I could be wrong.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But the proxy's voting for
all
her
that time.
But also, it would be voting for her because it's AI, and they control everything AI. All the AI is on their side. You know, Dolores can call motorcycles to her.
Yeah.
So that's what Charlotte's body is doing. Could be Teddy in that role, although it didn't feel like a Teddy. Teddy doesn't seem like a guy who manipulates boardrooms. That's all. He seems. So I don't know. I felt like Teddy might be the inside Connells, fake Connells, but
right. But you know, it might be like in the Matrix, where it's like, okay, give me.
Yeah.
You know.
Well, remember in season 2, she adjusted his levels.
That's true.
So she could.
Well, I think she actually, I think she.
Because in season 2, Teddy
I think she also
suicide.
did what happened to her, which is taking that rogue personality and combining it with his personality. So maybe.
Anyway, so the plot is thickening when it comes to these 6. I guess it's 6. It's Dolores plus 5, I think.
Yeah.
6, Westworld robots that are trying to take over the world.
Right.
The angry gods. The one that's trying to stop them is Bernard, and he is on the run. So what they did is they set him up as the patsy. Our robot.
Yep.
So we're like, oh, look, you know who did it?
Yep.
Bernard.
Yep.
And so he's a wanted man. Everybody knows. I guess the world knows about Della. So it's not like they shut it up.
Nope.
They're like, oh, there's a huge accident in Westworld.
Yeah, it couldn't.
Well, enough money. I don't know. Maybe you try to shut it up, but whatever. They didn't.
That's
they were
kind
like,
of a big
Bernard.
thing, you know. All these people that presumably have some importance went to this place and got killed.
If I was Bernard, I'd probably shave the beard. He's got the beard in the wanted poster. Maybe take that off. But no, he's like, no. The beard stays.
Yeah.
So he is. It seems like he's in Australia. There's some Australian accents, and he's on like a beef processing plant.
Yes.
Which is interesting too, right? It's that idea of like just meat. We're processing meat, much like back in the old Westworld. He gets identified at some point and has to deal with these people that are going to turn him in. Now, interestingly, he's still dealing with the fact that back in season 2, he, unbeknownst to himself, was being controlled. And so he's got this little switch where he can kind of put himself into like analysis mode or something, or like the mode that's not being tracked.
Right.
So, like for instance, he's worried. There's a scene where he's worried that maybe in the last 24 hours somebody tried to control him.
Yes.
So he has a series of built-in questions that he can ask his other self, essentially, to be like, "Have you been controlled in the last day?" No. No.
Yeah.
You wouldn't lie to me, would you? No. You're like, oh, what do you want? So that's going to happen. I mean, he's going to get lied to, or that switch is going to get turned on and then thrown away. Somehow that will be a problem. But in the moment, it helps him because what he does is he turns on
when he's being
kill
attacked.
a robot and is like, just don't kill him.
Yeah.
And so he beats them up pretty badly. And one guy's not moving.
Yeah.
I'm like, is he alive?
Yeah.
But we get the feeling that he is trying to help humanity. In fact, at the end, I think so. At the end of season 2, remember when Dolores brings him back online?
I feel like he's just trying to. I feel like his role is to stop Dolores.
Right, which is going to help humanity.
Yeah, but that's not the. It's less about his concern for humanity and more about,
Well, but if he didn't care about humanity, he would just be like, yeah, fine, take over the world.
Right, but I mean, yes. But it's not like I'm the protector of humanity. It's more like, okay, I have a responsibility to make sure that we don't do more damage.
I don't remember the exact conversation, but I remember in season 2 at the end when Dolores has a conversation with Bernard at the last episode. And she says, like, this new world's going to need both of us.
Yes.
And we're not going to be on the same side.
Right.
But it's going to need you and I in it.
Yeah.
And what I got out of that was, I'm going to be the villain. And you're going to be the hero.
I wonder. It'd be worth listening to that again, because the way I sort of remember it is, to me, I saw it in the sort of like, I'm not going to deliberately kill another robot, That's just not me. I don't like, that's the whole thing. And I'm going to do this, and you're going to try to stop me. But I think because she knows that, not like it's sort of like our roles are these.
Okay.
That's sort of how I saw that. Because that's, that's sort of a upper...
That makes it more like a meta comment. In a narrative, we need a villain and a hero.
Yeah, or sort of like, the gods have put us on this course, and let's see who wins.
But in the giant storyline that is Westworld, anyway, but that's what I got out of it. But you're right, maybe it's a little less,
like I'm
allegorical.
going to do what
So, but I do feel like that's what they've set up here. They've set up a situation. He's like, oh, we saw that they last talked 92 days ago, I think. So she's got a head start on me. I've got to get back to Westworld to get friends. And so we see from the trailers that he's going to meet up with Maeve, and he's going to meet up with security guard guy.
Oh, yeah. I can't remember his name, but yes.
The Hemsworth brothers.
Yeah.
And I think
less famous Balder.
And right. And we also know from the end of season 2 that
Uncle
at some
Kirk.
point a version of Man in Black gets brought back online to do a fidelity test, and it seems like it's in Westworld. So I'm thinking maybe one of the friends he goes to get might be William as well. Although he doesn't seem to be at cross purposes. Maybe it's one of those enemy of my enemies. I mean, the one person William would probably hate would be Dolores, in terms of they were majorly at odds, and Dolores was trying to kill him.
Right. Yeah. So, I guess it didn't occur to me until now that maybe the reason why they're bringing him back online is so that he can intercede with Delos, where it's like, oh, now we got to. Now it's not a.
The empty chair is not empty anymore.
Yep.
Yeah. No, that's a good point.
Well, okay, it totally had a reason, because it was sort of like assuming that because in theory they should have enough information on him where I guess they wouldn't, if they just created a copy of him, they wouldn't have needed to do the fidelity test.
Here's the thing.
So
I'll just say this: is it possible that Liam is William's son? We don't know William's last name, I don't think. And look at the last syllable of William. Liam. We know that my dad, blah, 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 blah. It could be that Liam is William's son.
Huh.
I just thought of that as we talked here, like Liam is William, but okay. Anyway, so I think that could actually be a thing. So Maeve's in Warworld. I wonder if this is in present or if this is a time shifted thing.
Given their previous relationship.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, that's not the way your father used to do it.
Yeah, exactly. Yes. So she's having sex with the Father and the Son.
Yeah, very biblical.
And the Holy Ghost.
Yes.
So Maeve is in Warworld. It's like it's World War II Europe, Nazi-occupied Europe. What was interesting to me was she seems to be on the resistance side because she's got a German soldier that she's
tied up,
punching. She's got bloody knuckles.
Yeah. So maybe she's a French person. But
she's opening the square, and the whole place is under. I mean, boy, she's being really casual about it. Let's put it that way. If you were in trouble, she takes the gag out of the guy's mouth and then it opens the windows, and they're like, "Hey guys!" Anyway, I don't know what that's all about. But
maybe he's a spy.
Here's what would be really weird: if Bernard goes back, gets Maeve to help.
Yes.
And then she brings in her Nazi army to help liberate humanity with Nazi robots. That would be something.
They don't.
Let's not do that. Let's not do that. Okay. But there is a shot we see in the trailer for upcoming episodes where you mentioned it, that Dolores and Charlotte are in bed together.
Yes.
Which suggests perhaps that the entity inside Charlotte would be Teddy, perhaps. But it doesn't have to mean that.
No, it doesn't.
But anyway. Any other observations, sir?
On the future, certainly it's very interesting to see, the app that they're using to commit crimes or whatever, and all the other technological advances like the robots around them and the flying cars, which nothing's in the future like a flying car.
Flying cars. I did like the Rico app. I thought that was pretty neat.
Yeah, that's.
Oh,
very
also,
cool.
Giggles is being played by Marshawn Lynch.
Yes.
Running back, Seahawks. I liked the tech on his shirt. He had like a mood ring shirt that would light up what his feelings. So like amused. I was like, that could be marketable. I could see that.
It's interesting how
around.
everybody has like little earrings not earrings, but little ear pods or
Yeah,
whatever that Ash activates to
Yeah,
which is
so Ash has a
engineering
very
kind of
useful tool, which is I'll get rid of all security cameras,
Yeah.
and then I'll make the sound go out. So that's there's tech that can combat the current tech.
Yes.
I liked the little touches in this futuristic world. They obviously thought about it quite a bit, and it's good stuff. So we'll be back talking about episode 2, and we'll be talking Altered Carbon and Picard.
Sure.
Yeah. Sit in. You probably are at home right now, so you've got time. Go back, watch season 2, our recaps, and we'll be back. Bye.